WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have Cragganmore, the 20-year-old 2020 special release from Diageo, the oldest Cragganmore ever released from the distillery. Yay! So I paid 143 euros for this, about $180. It's 55.8% ABV. As I mentioned, it's 20 years old. Whiskey base number 164637. So this was distilled in 1999. So remember the song from Prince, 1999? I can't sing, I'm sorry. So that was a long time ago. Purple Rain, so on and so on. Okay, good. Cragganmore 12-year-old is my whiskey I'm going to compare it with. Why? Because this is actually one of my gateway whiskeys. If you ever watch Roy by Aquavite, he talks about gateway whiskeys that actually allowed us to enter into a special area. And the interesting thing is it says an elegant, sophisticated Speyside with the most complex aroma of any malt. This is one of their standard malts. There's a special name for that, I forgot. And astonishingly fragrant with sweetish notes and a smoky maltiness on the finish. And that's one of my gateway. The first time I ever had this, it was like, oh, there's something, oh, that's interesting. And it's like 3 ppm that they sometimes use here at Cragganmore. You'll very seldom find it online that they mention it, but there's a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of peat that is actually in there. So this was the classic malts, exactly. So we had the Glenkinich from Lowlands, we had the Dalvini from Highlands, we had Talisker from Skye, we had Oban from the West Highlands, we had Lagavulin from Islay, we had Cragganmore here from the Speyside. And that was a fantastic marketing ploy. I'm going to use the word ploy here because people would actually go to a bar and say, hey, could I have a flight? And they were able to actually discern the different regions back then that were more or less true for Scotland. Today, with a lot of the new distilleries, they're actually skewed and not like they should be. All right, good. Enough moaning about the past. Cragganmore, this is the bottle that I most look forward to. I have four bottles in total from the special release that I bought this year. There's a Talisker, there's a Cardew, there's a Cragganmore, and I forgot the last one I bought. I'm not buying the 400, 500, 600, 800 euro bottles, but the things under 100 or 200 euros, I actually think about. Oh, I love that nose. The nose is a honey sweetness, a honey malty sweetness. This is a wonderful example of a cask strength Speyside whiskey. Bam, that's it. Now, I expected this to be this high. I expected this to be fabulous. 20 years old, the oldest ever. And it's basically here. Average would be here. It's better than average, much better than average, but it's not the pinnacle. I put this on a podium position, and actually I only needed a tiny little step ladder. And it's not as good as I expected it to be. All right, I do like that nose though. It says here, a Cragganmore of this age has never been released from the distillery, making this elusive malt a much anticipated expression. Yep. Sweet and mellow woody notes emerge from the small batch, patiently matured over 20 years in refill casks. So this was actually matured in refill cask and freshly charred hogshead. And some people actually get a little bit of a peaty smokiness at the end. It's the new charred hogshead. All right, cheers. Sláinte. Mm. Mm. I like this. I want to love this, but I like this. The sweetiness, it's a very sweet, honey, malty moment. And the wood supports everything. I'm sure some people are going to say there's too much wood. It's over oaked. But for me, it's actually about right. I can't give this an A. I'm going to give this a B minus. B minus minus C plus plus to be very, very honest. It's growing on me the more I taste it. Now, the value for money, the way my system goes is A, why haven't you bought it? B, buy it. So A's is reserved for the whiskeys out there that are just unbelievably great. B is a why haven't you bought it? All right, buy it. C is you can buy it if you need it. D is you don't need to buy it, and F is why was it even made? And the value for money here for 143 euros is not there in my opinion. This is more of a C minus, D plus type of whiskey from the value for money. This is something you buy because you are a geek. This is something you buy because you have the extra money and you can show off. This is not something you need. And that's the important thing. Is this a whiskey the world needs? No. But, and that's my question of the day, the special releases from Diageo give Diageo a platform to showcase some of their whiskeys, some of their distilleries in a manner that they normally couldn't do. Cragganmore 12 is basically the only release we have from Cragganmore. And so if they actually put some casks aside and say, hey, one day we're going to have an 18-year-old, how can we do this? There could be travel retail, or they have to wait until they have a special release. And if I go back to the 12-year-old, on the nose, that honey sweetness with a tiny, tiny little whiff of smoke is there. Remember when you basically started off drinking whiskey that you thought 40% was comparatively, this is great and this is watery. But for a beginner whiskey, and at the end, it's got a great mouthfeel. It's got a great finish, in my opinion. I really like this whiskey. This is, as I said, a gateway whiskey for me. Cragganmore opened up my eyes that whiskeys can be a tiny, tiny little smokiness and a lot of sweetness with the maltiness coming in and carrying the entire show. Over here, the oak takes over a little bit more and carries the show. Water doesn't do much for it. I watered it down to like 46, 48% in my German video. To be honest, drink it as it is if you can. This is really, really good stuff. I did dilute it down to 25%. If you dilute it down to about 40, 46, 48%, it gets creamier. And the creaminess is actually there. So, Cragganmore is a highly respected Speyside malt founded by a giant among distillers, John Smith. The ethanol aromas are among the most complex to be found in any malt, appearing and disappearing mysteriously like the ghostly flight of the barn owl. Look here, barn owl. As it quarters the twilight Speyside glens in search of its prey. The mellow nose, I use the word mellow and smooth a lot on this. The mellow nose reveals fruity notes of red pear, yes. Soft melon, I'm not sure. Green banana, no. I'm banana blind, by the way. I don't get banana in whiskeys at all. Even Jack Daniels, no banana. Then savory hints of soft glove leather and sanded hardwood. I'm not sure about that either. I worked as a cabinet maker for many years. So sanded hardwoods is a little bit different. The texture is creamy smooth while the taste is rich and sweet. Yep. Delightfully balanced by a savory mid-palate. The finish is long, velvety, and spice dry. Absolutely right. As I said, this is a whiskey the world does not need, but it actually is a nice whiskey. C++, more of a B minus. To be honest, let's go for B minus here. But the price and everything around it is just not one of those whiskeys where I can recommend it. If you haven't had Cragganmore for a while, go back, find your bottle, buy a new bottle of Cragganmore 12, share it with people, and try to identify how great this whiskey is. Yes, 46, 48, 43% would be much better. The 40% is the only thing I'm going to complain about here. It could have a little bit more of that power that we need, a little bit of oomph, as we say in Germany for this. But this was actually one of those whiskeys where I was like, wow. Not just sherry bombs are good, but actually real whiskey with bourbon cask maturation hogsheads is a excellent whiskey. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for hitting that bell for notifications every time I go online or a video is posted. So my question of the day was or is special releases from Diageo. In your opinion, is that a marketing trick? Or is it actually a showcase platform for special releases from Diageo? Now, my personal opinion, yes and yes. The Taliska 8, which I bought, I'm going to review also as well, is not one of the whiskeys where I go, hey, you need a showcase. You had no. But the Cragganmore 20, you do need a showcase for that. All right, that's something very special that you can't get anywhere else or with any other system there involved. So I think often they should do this in a very special manner. But if the whiskeys go way over the €200 mark or $200 mark from your point of view, often nah. Don't buy them. They're not worth it. If you can get a tasting, if you can go to a tasting and try them, they're going to be amazing many times, but not all of them are so great. But I do love the fact that they are cask strength. All right, so I'm a little bit of fanboy of the special releases from Diageo. Last year I bought 2 bottles. This year I bought 4 bottles. Maybe next year I'm going to buy 6, and the year after that I might buy 8. Who knows? I'm not going to buy the most expensive ones ever, but I do open them and I do try them and I do share them. So that's important. Thank you very much for watching. Please contact me if you need to at WhiskyJason, if you want to, at whiskyjason@gmail.com. Yeah, thank you very much. The whiskeys I love trying that you probably will never ever see personally. And I also think it's very important to have normal comparison whiskeys. All the best. See you soon. Bye-bye.